Okay, so this one is very similar to the other one that we did. Okay, very, very similar, but we are, oh, okay. This one is very similar, but a little bit different. Decided to enter these numbers before you came because I thought it would take too long to enter it with you guys. But I wanted to show you something interesting. When I enter my numbers, I don't, well, it's not really interesting, but I just want to draw your attention to how I entered my numbers. I entered my numbers without spaces, without dollar or rand symbols, without commas. I just included the decimal at the end, which is the cents. Okay. And you would notice that it actually rounded all my cents off to the closest number. So in other words, here in the first one, it's actually 71. And if I put my mouse in this cell, you will see that it is actually 71 and not just zero point 0.7. But because 1 rounds down to the 7, it decided to just show that. And you will notice that this one rounded off to 6, but it's actually 57. This one is in fact 6. This one is 79, but it rounded to 8. So the numbers that I entered are the same as the ones that are on the page, but it is rounded off on the screen. It's still the same value. It is still the exact same value. So when we edit this, it's obviously going to display differently. For example, if we apply a comma style or if we apply rand symbols or things like that, it will show the decimals or the cents value that I entered. Okay, so let's start with the first instruction. Create the worksheet shown on the previous page using the data. So I'm just quickly looking at this. All right, fine. It's always good not to pay too much attention to the first page because that is how it's going to look when it's done. So at the moment, we should just focus on getting it on there first. I'm not because I mean, if you follow in all the instructions, it's going to be that way anyway. Use the sum function to determine the total revenue for the 4 packages, the total for each state, and the company total. Add column and row headings for the totals row and the totals column. Okay. Now that is something that I didn't enter, and they didn't specifically say that enter. They just said create the worksheet. Okay, I'm going to create it with you. I just entered these numbers. Okay, so when you look at the original page, you will see that there was a title. I'm going to enter the title because we are going to edit the title shortly. So this is Syncar Satellite. I'm wondering if that is a second L. Yes. Okay, I can't see so well. And then of course the subtitle is yearly sales, like that. Okay, so that is my title and that is my subtitle. And then you will notice that there's also column headings and row headings. Now these are column headings. It specifies what is going on in the column. Okay, so this is column B and the heading is package A. So package A, even though they didn't specifically say enter this, they did say create it, which is what we're doing now. Package C. And the last one is package D. Okay. Then they said we should also include row titles. And for the first one is Florida. The second one is Georgia. Then we have Louisiana, Mississippi. Ooh, I'm not sure I'm spelling that right. North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Okay. Something that you need to know is if you used or if you left lines open or if you started in different cells or things like that, you may have trouble doing these instructions exactly because all the instructions are cell address based. For example, format cell A through F. Okay, so if you did not start in A, if you started in B, then all these instructions are going to be difficult and wrong for you. So it is very important that you try and do it exactly the way you are supposed to do it. Look closely in which row did they start. Look closely in which column did they start so that these instructions will not change for you. Otherwise, it becomes very complicated. Okay, they also want us to add a total column heading, so we are going to do that. And they also want us to add a total row heading, and that is what they said here. They said um, the totals for each state in the company total and a column and row heading for the total rows. And they want us to use the sum function to do that. Now remember, sum function is basically add together everything. Okay. Not everything on the page, but everything in the range. So first of all, when you add like this, okay, horizontally in one row, you actually get the total for Florida. If you add like this, you will get the total for, okay, you get package A is total, package B is total, package C is D. And when you get to this total, this is the total of the totals. Okay, so we have a total for all the columns and the rows, and this is the total. Okay, so we are going to use the sum function to calculate that. Every time you use a function or a formula, you will start with an equal sign and we'll type SUM. When you see all these sum functions appear, you will choose the one that you are using. We are not going to use the, how many are there? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So we're not using the 7 below. We're just using sum. And if you look at this little screen tip that it gives here, it says it adds all the numbers in a range of cells. Okay. So this is obviously the one we want. So we double click on that and we take our mouse and we drag across the cells that we want to add together. Now, if you read this formula, the formula is read like this. Add together everything from B5 up to E5. So it only gives the first cell and the last cell. Why? Because there could have been 1,000. There could have been 100,000 of them. Okay, so if you add together everything between this cell and that cell. Okay. Press enter and you will get your value. I'm going to do one more just for the sake of doing one more. So once again, equal sign sum, and now I select my range. Oopsie. If you make a mistake, just take off your mouse and do it again. B6 up to E6, press enter. Now the beauty and the lovely thing about Excel is once you have calculated it one time, you don't have to do it many times. Okay, so all you do is you select the block that has the formula. In other words, this one that contains the answer, because as you can see in the background there is a formula, and then you put your mouse on the corner where you see that little square. Sorry about the coughing. I know it's also irritating you. Drag it down, and now you have calculated all the columns. Okay, well, all the row totals. Now we still need to calculate the column totals. So again, you're going to say equal sign sum. Once again, you drag from the first one to the last one, and the formula will read like this. Add together everything from B5 to B11. As you can see, B5 being the first one, B11 the last one, and everything else in between is also included. And since I've done it one time, I don't have to recreate this formula. So I just click back in my answer. The answer already contains the formula. And now I drag sideways like this. And there I have all my totals. So this total over here, that one is the grand total, because it's a total of the totals. Okay. All right. Now we can continue with step 3. Format the worksheet title and subtitle with the title cell style. Okay, so they want us to go to the title and they want us to format it with the title cell style. So you're going to go to cell styles and you're going to click on title, and they want us to use the title cell style for the subtitle. Okay, so we click on this one again. So both of them are now title style, and then they want us to center them across columns A through F. When it says center across, it means merge and center. So you will select A through F and then you will click on merge and center. Okay. Same for the subtitle, merge and center. Use the font group on the ribbon to format the worksheet subtitle. All right, so this is the font group. As you can see here, it says font. So you are going to you're going to format the subtitle to be a little bit different. You're going to change it to 14 points. So at the moment it is 18. So we are changing the font size to 14, Cambria red. So at the moment it is Calibri. So you're going to just click on that and start typing Cambria and it will appear in this list. Then you just press enter and we are going to change it to red. Okay, it looks like this one is already red. Okay, just make sure it says red. Okay, all right. Format the title with dark red. Okay, so we are going to format the title with dark red and they want us to bold the font color. They didn't say that we should bold for the subtitle as well. So we are just going to bold for the title. Center the titles across columns A through F, which is something we already did. Okay, I would not have chosen red. I don't think it's a good color for a title. Now we're going to start to format our numbers. Format the range B4 to F4. So B4, as you can see, it's not A. A is a blank cell. By the way, this blank cell is very important, especially in graphs and charts. Okay, we'll talk about this a lot still to come. Okay, so I'm selecting the column headings in B through F, and we are applying heading 3 style like that. And they want us to center the text. By the way, right now it looks as if all the column headings are squashed in and nothing is appearing nicely in a cell and everything is cutting off. But don't worry, we still have to format the numbers. And once we've done the numbers, everything will look nicely. I guarantee it. Now we're going to format A5 to F11. Okay, so we're going to go to A5 and F11. And once again, we're going to use a style. And here we're going to go and format it with 20% accent 1. Here we go. So it's the themed cell styles box, if I want to call it that. And they want us to choose 20% accent 1. Okay, A12 to F12 total style. So we are selecting A12 to F12 and we're changing that to the total style. And now we're going to format the numbers. So we are selecting B5 to F5 and hold in control the totals. Always holding control if you don't want to select the whole range. So you're just holding, you're selecting the first row, holding control, and you're selecting the last row. And they want us to apply the formatting of a counting style. Okay, so as you can see, the minute we applied the accounting style, all our headings appear nicely. Nothing is cut off anymore. It looks good. Now we want to format the inside block. So we select the whole inside block and we are changing that just to comma style like that. Now you can see with the counting style, the rand symbol is nicely on the side. And the thousand separator, which is a space, is nicely under. Everything is nice and under each other. No number is all across this all across the show. Okay, if I want to call it that. Okay, just quickly drawing your attention to here, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana. As you can see, these are still cut. So I'm just going to double click on this boundary line between A and B. And when I do that, it will enlarge this column to the largest entry, which is Carolina. Okay. Now nothing is cut off. Everything displays nicely. We are now going to create a 3D pie chart that shows the contributions for each state. And the chart the state names. Okay, so they want us to add the names of the states, not the total. Remember, you don't add the total. Hold in control and then they say A5 to A11. Okay, I did that. And F5 to F11. Not the totals. Remember, if you include totals, it's going to throw out your whole chart, especially since this is a pie chart. There's going to be this one big slice and then the rest is going to be teeny tiny little slices. Okay. So we're going to click on insert, and then here we have all our little charts. They want us to go for the 3D pie chart, so we are selecting the 3D pie chart. Okay, use the sheet tab name yearly sales chart. Okay, so we are going to send this to our own page, I guess. Yep. So you click on this chart, make sure all the little dots are around the chart, and then you're going to click on move chart, and you're going to move it to its own sheet. And here we can actually rename the sheet already, and they want us to say it is yearly sales chart. Okay, so now you will see that is the title they also gave it, and here we have sheet 1. The chart is usually on the other side, but at this point I didn't look like they are moving it yet. We'll see what happens later. Okay, change the sheet 1 tab name to yearly sales. So here we have the sheet 1 tab. Double click on it and change it to yearly sales. Press enter once you have changed the name, and they want us to apply purple. So just put your mouse on this yearly sales name, right click on it and say tab color purple. Okay. Change the document properties. We don't change document properties anymore. That is something that we did maybe 2017. It used to be over here, the properties, but now it's in the back and we don't have to worry about them. Okay, so we are saving this workbook at the moment, but now we are going to make some corrections. And if you look at step 8, it says 2 corrections to the figures were sent from the accounting department. The correct sales in the figure is 151 for package A sold in Louisiana. So here is package A, and we are just looking for Louisiana, and they are wanting us to change this number to 151. So we're going to do that. 151,992.60 cents. Okay, as you can see, since we have already added all the formulas, it does it like instantly. That is the beauty of Excel. And then they also have a correction for package B in Virginia, which is the last one, and that one is changing to 183,573.67. And when you press enter, once again, the affected columns will change. So it's obviously this one for package B and the total column over there. In your homework, you will see it says print, print, print. That is simply because you can see the changes, and then you made the changes, and then so on and so on. You guys don't print anymore. I will obviously take the very last screenshot, if you want to call it that, and if everything is correct, then of course you worked it out well. Use the undo button to change the worksheet back to its original numbers, and then use the redo button to change it back to the reverse state. I'm not going to do that, but I will show you where you can do that. Undo and then redo. Undo and redo. Okay, it works the same as it does in Microsoft Word, so you can still do that here as well. Okay, I want to show you how to fit this on one page. So if you go to File and you say Print, you will notice that everything does print very nicely on one page. But just to make sure that nothing goes onto a second page, we must set out the page layout so that it is forced to print on one page. How do you do that? You simply say Page Layout, Margins, Custom Margins, and here for Page, you will just click on this option that says Fit to one page. Now it is forced to fit it on one page, and it will. Okay. This one will print on one page anyway. Okay. Change the state in cell A11 to the state in which you were born. You don't have to do that. And then I want to just quickly show you some chart changes. On this page, there are some things here in the chart that I'm pretty sure we have to change. Now, this chart doesn't have a title at the moment, and it looks like we are changing this chart title to yearly sales. And then we are also going to apply a style to this chart. And if you look here in the design, now just want to mention something. You must make sure that you have clicked this chart. Otherwise, you won't see these options. Okay, they want us to choose a style that will represent percentages. It looks almost like this one. Yep. So we are going to apply style 3. And style 3 has percentages representing. So even though in the yearly sales worksheet, it doesn't give you percentages, this is the percentages that it is, well, with regards to the total. All right, there's a legend on the side, and I think everything else is now the way it is supposed to be. Okay, so this is still, this forms poems are a part of chapter 1 or class participation 1, and it's very interesting and easy to do. I think this is one of the easiest ones. And class participation 2, which will start tomorrow, is a little bit more difficult. And then, of course, class participation 3, that is a whole other story. Okay. But I don't want to scare you. Excel is fun. I really enjoy Excel. I love it. I don't think I can live without Excel. All right, I'm just going to stop recording and then get back to you.